We are here tonight carrying something heavy, but also something shared. Bondi was not just an act of terror. It was a rupture. It tore apart the illusion that distance would keep hatred at bay. It has forever changed how Australian Jews see themselves in this country. Within hours of the attack, President Herzog called me. "Israel is with you," he said. "Just as you stood with us, we now stand with you." And since the 7th of October, I think it's fair to say that Israel has consumed our waking moments. We have cried and prayed, advocated and ruminated. Our gaze, fixed anxiously on Israel, has never strayed. In Jewish tradition, there is a phrase from the Talmud that captures this. Kol Yisrael aravim zeh lazeh. All of Israel are responsible for one another. We are a single body animated by a single soul. When limbs in Australia are riddled with bullets, the heart bleeds in Israel. Eyes weep in New York, and breath catches in London. We feel each other deeply, symbiotically, no matter the distance. And that truth has never felt more real. I will never forget the moment after Bondi, when families of Israeli hostages who had been held in Gaza called to give us strength. For 2 years, we stood with them, and suddenly they stood with us. It was vulnerable, and it was profoundly moving. But ultimately, it was a reminder that we are bound not by geography, but by peoplehood. Mr. President, your presence here today, together with the First Lady, is Jewish peoplehood lived. And our community understands that not as theory, but as memory. Many of our families have come from places where being Jewish meant living with fear. Europe, Russia, South Africa, the Middle East. We came here, we came to Australia, and we built full lives. We flourished, we contributed, and we believed that we could live openly as Jews without having to second-guess our safety. Bondi reminded us what happens when hatred is tolerated in polite society. It metastasizes and it destroys us from within. The truth is that in 2026, the respectable way to express anti-Semitism is through the demonization of Israel. When Israel is smeared as uniquely evil, Zionist becomes a safe word for Jew. And it is for this reason that the President's visit at this very moment matters so deeply. Not as ceremony, as clarity. The invitation to President Herzog for a state visit tells the purveyors of anti-Semitic hate that Australian Jews belong here, that our connection to Israel is legitimate, and that attempts to demonize us will not be tolerated. It was a choice, the right choice, and I commend the Australian government for making it. And that is why some have tried to derail this visit and this event. Their purpose is not protest or persuasion. It's intimidation. To make us recoil from our Jewish identity. To make us doubt our place. To make us smaller. Well, look around this room. If there is one thing that our enemies should now understand, it is this: we are not going anywhere. The state of Israel is not going anywhere. We will not be silenced. We will not retreat from our identity, from our values, or from our place in this country. And let me take a moment to acknowledge the people who have kept us safe and have allowed us to live freely in this country. The amazing Victoria Police. And our incredible volunteers at the CSG who are working day and night to protect us. Thank you. Jewish history has shown, time and again, that every attempt to extinguish Jewish life only strengthens our resolve. We add light. We do not hide it. And when Jewish life is lived proudly, openly, and without apology, it becomes its own answer to hatred. If I may, in the presence of the President and the First Lady, I want to speak for a moment directly to the students in the room, including my own children. Hundreds of senior high school students from Melbourne's unbelievable network of Jewish day schools who are here today. Visit Israel, not as a tourist, but as an owner of our story. Go to the one place where Jewish history stopped being something that happened to us and became something that we are responsible for. And let it complicate you. Let it complicate you in the best way possible. See a country that is strong, anxious, inventive, and still unbroken. A place where Jews and non-Jews argue because we care and because responsibility is so much heavier than slogans. Take Israel seriously enough to learn it properly. Not just headlines, not just hashtags. Learn its achievements and its flaws. Learn its dilemmas. Learn the cost of defending a small democracy in a very tough neighbourhood. And then come home and refuse the false choice being forced on your generation. You do not need to trade your Jewish identity for social approval. Your job is not to win every argument. Your job is to carve out your place in the story of the Jewish people. Mr. President, your grandfather, Rabbi Yitzhak Halevi Herzog, once said, "In Israel, we have the responsibility of sustaining the spiritual lives of Jews all over the world." Today, you make those words real for Australian Jews, and especially for everyone in this room. In Israel, together with the First Lady, you have been a source of unity and strength through one of the darkest periods in our nation's history. You have stood with hostage families, the wounded, the bereaved, and today you stand with us, and I thank you deeply from the bottom of my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honour to ask you all now to rise and to welcome His Excellency, the President of the State of Israel, Mr. Isaac Herzog, to address us.